Morning everyone, hello. I am Guy Tonkin from Resolution Media, and I'm here to take a little bit of a step back today out of the weeds of competitive insight and think a little bit about how competitive insight can be one data set that can help you do precision marketing in a much more sort of meaningful and interesting way, especially when there are sort of all sorts of concerns nowadays about privacy and what that means. So, precision marketing, often also called people-based marketing or one-to-one marketing. How many people here have touched on this so far in their day-to-day lives? Give me a little whoop. Oh, hands, very polite audience, I love it. So people-based precision marketing generally is talked about integrating hardcore sort of like personal CRM data into your marketing platform. So this is something that's existed for almost a decade in email marketing platforms, but when people talk about it now, of course, here's a few articles about both of them over the last month or so. They talk about integrating it now into things like search, integrating all this personal data into programmatic, integrating it all into even CRO on-site sort of optimizations. And there is a lot of money being thrown about behind this sort of idea currently in the market space, which is very interesting. So Merkle, my old employer before I was at Resolution, they were acquired by Dentsu. Merkle were a big, hardcore precision marketing company. Dentsu, one of the big 6 advertising companies. So they're really preparing for a world in which precision is used in marketing a lot more than it is currently. My current work, Omnicom, have just restructured their CRM group into a precision marketing group, is what they're calling it, with the idea behind that all of this personal information is going to sit a lot closer to things like search and programmatic and CRO in the future. But for as much money and time as there is being spent on integrating personal data into all of our digital marketing, there is also a lot of time and effort being spent on thinking about how to keep it out of that space. So the GDPR legislation, who's been looking at that? I imagine it's more people, yeah, it's very terrifying. In theory. So a lot of the GDPR legislation is about deciding how businesses and organizations can use personally identifiable information about European citizens and how they should be doing a better job of protecting that information and moving it around a lot less. Safari, in the last month, recently updated their terms and conditions to automatically delete third-party cookies after 24 hours. Another big move towards sort of like internet privacy and what is trackable. And who's heard of the Brave browser? This handsome lion up here. Anyone? So the Brave browser is a very interesting proposition. It is designed by the guy who invented JavaScript. They're a startup based out of California, and they are trying to build a system which injects privacy into the center of the digital marketing ecosystem. So it gets rid of the sort of whole Google, Facebook ecosystem and creates a media buying platform built off of blockchain. Blockchain is the technology that allows sort of cryptocurrencies to work the way they do in an entirely sort of like private and anonymous ecosystem. And the guys behind Browser think that that's the way that digital marketing is going to go as well, into an entirely private sphere. And it's not that surprising that there are people spending all this time and money and effort on thinking about how to allay people's privacy concerns. When you see sort of headlines like these popping up every couple of days at least. We've got one where Google admits that its new speaker was eavesdropping on all of their conversations before people were even needing to say, okay, Google. We've got one big expose in The Guardian about how different third-party companies working with gambling clients use personally identifiable data to help them target people who they thought may be addicted to their platforms. One of my favorite ones, which I've not included up here, was a big article someone wrote about requesting all the information that Tinder had on them, and they got sent this 80-page document of all of their likes and interests and niches and all that sort of stuff. So it's not surprising that people are thinking quite seriously about how people use their personally identifiable information online. And so if you are a brand who is thinking that their customers are going to be the sorts of people who are concerned about this sort of thing, what is there that you can do about it, right? Like that's the important thing. And I guess I'm here today to say that for brands who have millions of rows of information about their customers, they also have millions of rows of information about their whole internal data processes as well. So for instance, take Uber. Uber have at any one time information about exactly where all of their drivers are at any one point in time. If we're looking at Zoopla have a huge amount of information about where every single one of their properties is located in the UK. These gigantic data points that don't touch on any personal information. These are all things that can be better integrated into marketing to make your precision better without any of the creepiness of people-based stuff. And Adthena adds a very interesting addition to these sorts of discussions because it provides a whole bunch of additional data points that can be ingested into your marketing strategies in a very sort of precise way without, again, touching on the concerns around PII. And this sort of idea now will be housed in this kind of very interesting central system, which is something we call inventory management, which sits within DoubleClick. So who has used inventory management before? A couple of people. So it's a very interesting tool that's quite early in its life cycle. And it basically allows you to automatically ingest a whole bunch of information from any external source and tie that directly to your search advertising. You can go into AdWords, you can go into Bing. So for the example of Zoopla, they can download a gigantic feed of all of their properties and their availabilities, and if there are 500 flats available in Woking one day to purchase their ad that day, will say that there are 500 flats available. If the next day there are 400 flats available, it will update automatically to 400. If, God forbid, there are 0 flats available that day, the ad will automatically be turned off and start again once the availability comes up again. Thinking about the Uber example, you can do sorts of things like say, okay, we only want to advertise for people who are searching for a taxi right now when we have an Uber, let's say 2 minutes away from, 3 minutes away from. These are the sorts of very precise decisions that can be made in advertising with these sorts of systems when you're still just relying on point of need. So this isn't necessarily what advertising has to look like in 2018. There are a lot of ways that you can still be precise and take the people-based out of that and take some of the creepiness out of that